Hello, my cat champs. This particular session that we have brought for you guys is going to focus upon the 10 most important formulas that will help you solve all the quantitative technique questions or the data interpretation questions is what we call that in short, right? I know quant is one particular portion that a lot of the students who are specifically non-math student after the class 10th have not touched maths will be a little phobic about. So this particular session that we have brought for you, we'll talk about some of the very fundamental things and also the most important things that will help you get cracking for CLAT 2026. All you have to do is just before every mock, you just see this particular video for a couple of mocks and then make your own notes based on that, and then revise those notes every time you go for the examination or any of the mocks. Okay, so this I have tried to explain that how you can use this particular session. Now, if you are very weak at maths, if you feel that you are decent at maths or even good at maths, this particular session will be useful for you, but I will try to cover from the very basics and to the best of the level. So please stay with me till the end of the video so that you get to know all the 10 important formulas or the techniques or the topics that you need to do, right? So let's get started. The very first question that I ask every of my student is that how many of you know, okay, just confirm guys if my audio is good with you guys. Okay, I guess I just checked the voice is okay, but yeah, chalo. I'll just start cracking and discuss with you the very first thing that what according to you is the difference between a fraction and a ratio. Got a little flabbergasted that such simple thing we just can't get our head over that. So let me start with this particular thing only. So what is a fraction? If I say that the fraction is 3 upon 5 and I say the ratio is also 3 upon 5, some of you might have thought that the only difference between ratio and fraction is that ratio is written in this particular format and the fraction is written in this particular format. But no, that is not just the only difference. What is the major difference? Let's say I have a cake with me and I cut the cake into 5 slices. Out of these 5 slices, if I give you 3 parts of that particular cake, that means I gave you 3 of the slices out of the total 5 slices that I have cut. So what I have given you? I have given you 3 parts of the cake when the total parts were 5. That is what we, my friends, is what we call a fraction. So what is the ratio then? So let me bring for you one more cake now. Now if I cut this particular cake into 8 slices, and out of these 8 slices, if I give you 3 slices of the cake and keep the 5 with me. Okay, my name is Nikhil and let's say your name is Praveen. So the part of the cake that I have given to Praveen with respect to the part of the cake that has been given to Nikhil is what we call 3 upon 5. So what is a ratio? Ratio is a comparison of 2 or more than 2 parts. And what is a fraction? Fraction is a comparison of a part with respect to the total. So can we convert a ratio into a fraction? Yes, my friends, you can do that. How? Let's talk about that. So if I ask you in this particular cake, what fraction of the cake did Praveen get and what fraction of the cake did Nikhil get? What you will do? You will say that Praveen got 3 parts of the cake when the total parts were 3 plus 5, 8. And Nikhil got 5 parts of the cake when the total parts were again 8. So that is what we call the difference between a ratio and a fraction. Please note it down because these simple things will help you in getting over the next level. Okay. Now, how can we convert a fraction into a percentage? So a fraction, if it is 3 upon 5, okay, let's say you got 300 marks out of a total of 500 marks. Not you, but someone. Okay, so 500 was the grand total or the maximum marks that could have been obtained, right? And what are the actual marks obtained? Or the part that was obtained or which was correct in an examination was costing you 300. So what is a percentage? Percentage derives from the word per and cent. Per means with respect to and cent means 100. Like in $100, sorry, in $1 there are 100 cents. Okay, so it is per 100. Whatever it is with respect to whatever, if you're converting it in terms of 100, that is what we call a percentage. Okay, so if I say that this was 3 upon 5, if I have to convert it into percentage, what I'll do, I'll multiply the denominator and the numerator by 20. So I'll be getting 60 per 100. Or if I have to convert this into percentage, what I'll do, I'll divide both of them by 5, both the numerator and the denominator by 5. So again I'll be getting a 60 per 100%, and that is what we call 60%. Okay, but obviously you'll not be doing it every time. So what you have to do, if you have to convert a fraction into a percentage, you just need to multiply it by 100 and equal to is your percentage value. Okay, this is how we convert a fraction into a percentage, and obviously you can convert a percentage into a fraction also just by doing the reverse of that. Okay, let's say the percentage is 80%. So what is the fractional value of that? Just do 80 per 100. So that will be 4 upon 5, and that will be your value. That will be your answer, right? Good afternoon. Yeah, so this is the basic difference between a fraction and a percentage, and the last we discussed what is the difference between a fraction and a ratio. So these are very basic things, right? Now, how can we convert a fraction into a percentage? We have seen that. Now, how can we convert a fraction into a part value? And how can we convert a fraction into an angle of a pie chart? So these kind of practices will help you strengthen your core, strengthen your concepts. So just listen to me about it. So a fraction when multiplied by 100, we already have seen, is equals to percentage. Similarly, a fraction, if it will get multiplied with the total value or the grand total value, will make the part value, and a fraction when multiplied by, let's say, 360 degrees will give me the angle of a pie chart. Okay, the pie chart is, let's say this is a circle in which this portion is some A portion, this portion is some B portion, this is C and this is D. So what is A plus B plus C plus D in terms of angle? It will be 360 degree. Okay, in terms of percentage, it will be 100%. In terms of total, it will be a total value. Okay, so what is the important derivation that we could derive here is that a fraction of 1 is equivalent to 100% is equivalent to the total part value, and that is equals to 360 degree in terms of angle. So you will think, sir, so much of a theory, I'll not be able to get my head over that. So I have brought for you a particular question wherein we'll discuss all the 4 parts one after one after one after one. So please be patient about it, right? So this is the particular example that I brought for you so that we can practice together. Okay, so let's say if it is not quite clear, the text is not quite clear, I'll just try to read the text for you guys. The text only says that if there's a person who has some salary in the month of May, and then he had some salary in the month of June. Okay, so if his salary in the month of June was 50,000, okay, as a total salary, and in the month of May it was just 20,000, and how was he spending his 20,000 salary? He was spending in 12,000 rupees on rent, 8,000 rupees on the education part of the things, right? He was spending 6,000 rupees on the fooding, and he was spending 4,000 rupees on the entertainment, okay, going for a movie, and so on, right? So you have to tell me what fraction does he spend on each of the items, what percentage does he spend on each of the items, what is the angle of a pie chart if you have to make it, will be he will be spending on rent, education, food and entertainment. And then the next and the most important question is that if the next month his salary has now become 50,000, so you have to tell me that now if he decides to spend his salary in the same ratio in which he was spending earlier, then how much he will be spending on rent, how much he will be spending on education, how much on food, and how much on entertainment. So this question will help you practice and get a conceptual clarity of what we have been discussing till now. Okay, so if you're watching a recording, then you can please pause the video, first solve it, and then see if you have got the solution correct or not. Okay, so what fraction is he spending on rent? So he's spending the part value. What is a fraction? The part upon the total. So he's spending 12,000 rupees on rent when the total is 20,000. So it will be 4 3s are and 4 5s. That means he is spending 3/5 of his salary on the rent only. Okay. On education, it would be 8,000 upon 20,000. 3030 is gone. 4 2s are and 4 5s are. So that means he's spending 2/5 of his salary. Okay, sorry, my mistake. So this was 20 and this was 10. So it will be 30,000 as a total. Sorry, my mistake, guys. Okay, so it was the total salary was not 20,000, it was 30,000. So it will become 6 2s are and 6 5s are. If it is 8,000 on 30,000, that would be 2 4s are and 2 15s are. Similarly, if it is 6,000 on 30,000, you'll find out that will be 1/5, and if it is 4,000 on a total of 30,000, that will be 2 2s are and 2 15s are. Okay, so this would be the fraction of his salary that he's spending on all the 4 heads. Okay, what is the total of all the fraction? It is always going to be 1. Okay, so the grand total is always equal to a fraction of 1. It is always equal to 100%. It is always equal to 360 degrees in terms of angle. Okay, so these are the important pointers. Now remember, how did I teach you how to convert a fraction into a percentage? If you are hearing me right, so give me the answer here. What is the relationship between a fraction and a percentage? Quickly, guys. Okay. Yes, a fraction into a percentage means a fraction value when multiplied by 100 will become the percentage value. So that will become 40%. Now 4/15 into 100 will be how much? 5 3s are, 5 20s are. It would be 80/3. 80/3 will be 2s are 6. Okay, 26.66%. Right? What will be 1/5 into 100? And that will be 20%. And what would be 2/15 into 100? According to me, that should be 13.33%. Okay. So how was I able to get this particular answer very quickly? No, it's more about your logical ability, right? So if I see, I have seen some data here. What did I see? I see that the rent value was 12,000 and the food value was 6,000. Okay, so can I say that if I'll do the half of 12,000, I'm going to get 6,000? Yes. Okay, similarly, if I'm going to do the half of 2/5, that will be 1/5, or the reciprocal. If I say that the entertainment is 4,000 and the education is 8,000. So what is education? It is a double of the entertainment, right? So if I do the double of 2/15, I'm sure to get 4/15. The double of 6,000 is 12,000. The double of 1/5 will be 2/5. Similarly, the double of 20 will be 40 and the half of 26.66 will be 13.33. So these are the kind of conversions that you should be able to understand and grasp. Okay. Now, what is the angle of a pie chart? So in the last session, in the last part, we discussed that fraction when multiplied with 360 degree will be called the angle of a pie chart. Okay. So what is a fraction, guys? The fraction was 2 upon 5, and if it will be multiplied to 360 degrees, I'll be getting the angle of a pie chart. So that will be 5 ones are 572s are, so that would be 144 degrees. Okay. If I am doing 4 upon 15 into 360, that would be 15 fours are, 15 twos are 30, and then 60 will be left, so 15 fours are, so that will be 24 into 4. Okay, that would be 96 degrees if I'm not wrong. Similarly, can I now just think that 144 half, 12,000 half is 6,000, so just 144 half will be 72 degrees. So that is the use and the benefit of thinking logically. Okay. Otherwise, you obviously could have got the answer by just doing 1 upon 5 into 360 as well. Okay. Similarly, the half of this 96 will become 48 degrees, or if I'll do 2 upon 15 into 360, then also I'll be getting the same answer. And the important part is that the summation of 144, 96, 72 and 48 is sure going to be 360 only. Okay, so this was the important part we wanted to have a discussion with you about. Now, the next important part is, if his salary is now no longer 30,000, it is becoming 50,000 from June onwards. Okay, so you have to tell me that, and he's increasing his spendings on rent, education, food and entertainment in the same ratio. Okay, so one more thing I want to ask you here is that what is the ratio of his rent, education, food and entertainment? Yes, that can also be found out using the same logic that we have been discussing. So his rent was 12,000. So let's write 12,000 here. That was the rent part. Then the education part was 8,000. Then the fooding part was 6,000. Similarly, the entertainment part, okay, so this was education and this was entertainment. Okay, the entertainment part was 4,000. So if you would have been asked that what is the ratio of his spendings on all the 4 items, then this is the answer. Okay, 3 zeros, 3 zeros, 3 zeros, 3 zeros gone. 2 twos are 4. 2 threes are, 2 fours are, and 2 sixes are. Okay, so the ratio of the spendings would be in the ratio of 6 ratio 4 ratio 3 ratio 2. So it's not just about one part of it, it's about every part of it. Okay, now using this, can you tell me, can I convert this ratio into a fraction? So that is a revision of that also. Okay, so what fraction is he spending on rent? That will be 6 parts he's spending on rent if the total is okay. So it is going to be 6 parts when the total is 6 plus 4 10 plus 3 13 plus 2 15. So that will be the same ratio. Yes, the same fraction that you got here. Okay, the same fraction that we got here. Okay, similarly, the fraction of education will be 4 upon 15, the same that we got here. Similarly, the fraction of the fooding will be 3 upon 15, and that will be 1 upon 5. Similarly, the fraction on the entertainment will be 2 upon the total, that was 6 plus 4 plus 3 plus 2. Yeah, that is going to be 15, right? Perfect, guys. Great. Okay, so now the important part comes. Okay, the crucial part comes, which is not generally understood or known to the students. Okay, so let me discuss that part, and that is, there are 2 concepts. Okay, and the whole of at least a 60% of the syllabus, if we see the last 3-4 years of pattern, then is based upon the next two slides that I'm going to discuss with you. So please be very careful when you are watching it, either on the live or as a recorded part of it, because this can be the biggest asset that you can have to crack and get the maximum number of marks out of the 12 marks that are in CLAT from this portion. Okay, so from wherever you will start, that is called your initial value. Wherever you end, that is called the final value. From the initial till the final, if you add or subtract something to it, that is what we call the change. Okay, and what is change percentage? It is the change that happens with respect to the initial into 100. Okay? That is what we call change percentage as a concept. Okay guys, now initial plus or minus a change is called the final value, and change percentage is change upon initial into 100. So if I will do change percentage upon 100, I will be getting the change in terms of amount when compared with the initial value, right? At the same time, if I want to take the initial this side, what will happen then? Then change percentage upon 100, if I take initial this side, upon 100 into the initial this side will be equals to the change. Okay, so this is another very important formula that you will be seeing. Okay, how important and how it is being said is, let's say I say that the students who are studying in University A are 20% more than the students who are studying in University B. Okay, so how to write this particular statement? Okay, so the logic for that is, let me explain that. Now you also have seen that initial plus or minus a change is called the final value. So if I just write initial here, plus or minus, what is a change guys? This is a change. That is the change percentage upon 100 into the initial is the change that happens, and that will be equal to the final value. Okay, so if I take initial common from it, I will be getting 1 plus or minus change percentage upon 100, because I've already taken the initial common from both of these. Okay, and this will be equal to the final in terms of amount. So when it says that the students in University A R will be becomes all of them means equals to. So the number of students in University A are 20% more. 20% means 20 upon 100, more than means plus 1, then the number of students studying in University B. Okay, so this is how the relationship can be written, and once you will learn to write in this particular format, I am very sure you will start doing the questions in a very proper way, in a very systematic way, in a very small with a very small number of steps also. Okay, so everything will be related to this particular concept. Okay, and this is the main chapter of data interpretation. Okay, and at the same time, when you will see the chapters of profit and loss, what is profit and loss? Just put the initial to be the cost price, the final to be the selling price, the change to be the profit. CP plus P is equals to SP. What is profit percentage? Profit upon CP into 100. Just put markup and discount chapter here, you will get the formula. Just put interest chapter here, you will get the formula using these two formulas only. So this is the power of it. Obviously I'll not be able to discuss the whole part of it, but yes, I'll be more than happy to help you out. Yes, Dipanshu, you are correct. It is the most important portion. The percentages, the change percentages, and now what I'm going to discuss with you is the concept of multiplying factor. Another very important concept, and a lot of students do not know about it at all. Okay, so please listen to me. The same thing I'll do here, that if wherever you are starting from, that is the initial value, and wherever you are ending at, that is your final value. Then from initial till the final, okay, if you multiply something to it, instead of adding or subtracting from it, that number is called your multiplying factor. Simple question I will ask, that what should I multiply to 4 to make it 20? So you will say, array, it is 5. Very easy. Okay. But if I'll ask you, what should I multiply to 12 to make it 20? Okay. You might actually take a lot of time to give the simple answer like of this also. Okay. But what is it? It is, what should I multiply to 12 to get a 20? So the multiplying factor will be nothing but the final value. Okay. It will be nothing but the final value upon the initial value. The value it becomes, that is, what is the final value, you'll keep in the numerator. The value from where it starts, you'll keep in the denominator. That is what we call the concept of multiplying factor. Final upon initial. Okay. The same thing here. If you would have done here, it would be final is 20, the initial is 4. Simplified, you'll get the answer 5. Final is 20, the initial is 12. Okay, that will be your answer. Check it out. Is it 12 into 20 upon 12 going to give me 20 as my answer? Yes, it is. Okay, so these are the formulas that you should be knowing always, and remembering always. So this is what we call the multiplying factor logic. Okay, now how is multiplying factor going to be used? Let me explain with the help of the same example of this one only. Okay, so what is the example? My question is, what should I multiply to 30,000 to make it 50,000? Okay, what should I multiply to 30,000 to make it 50,000? So your multiplying factor will be final is 50,000 upon the initial is 3,000. So your multiplying factor will be 5 upon 3. Just use the same multiplying factor to 12,000 and you will be getting your answer. Okay. So what was the initial rent? It was 12,000. Multiply this 12,000 with the multiplying factor, which is 5 upon 3, and you will be getting your answer. 3 ones are, 3 fours are, so it will be 20,000. I'm not saying, okay, I'm not saying that this is the only method, okay, but this can also be one of the method. Okay, why I'm not saying that is the only method? Because the first method that you have already seen and been using was a fraction when multiplied with the total value is called the part value. Okay, so what is the fraction, guys? The fraction is 4 upon 5, 15. The fraction is 4 upon 15. If I'll multiply it with the total, okay, the new total is going to be 50,000. It will give me the part value. Okay, so it will be 10,000, and here it will be 3. So it will be 40,000 upon 3. That will be 13,333.3333. Whatever that is, that doesn't matter. The answer or the concept is what it matters right now. Okay. Similarly, if I would have done 1 upon 5 into the total, that is 50,000, I surely would have got 10,000 as my answer. And if I would have used a multiplying factor again in the last step also, that is, what should I multiply to 4,000? The multiplying factor of 5 upon 3. So if you would have done here also 4,000 to 5 upon 3, then also you have got the answer 20,000 upon 3. That will be 6,666.66. And when you check the total of this 20,000 with this, and with this, you are sure to get 50,000 as your answer. Okay, and this, my friends, is the most important concept. Okay, so what did we discuss? I'll just revise it for you. A fraction. What is a fraction? What is a ratio? Remember that. How can we convert a fraction into a percentage or a ratio into a fraction that we saw in the last part of it? How can we convert a fraction into a part value? Just like in the next portion we did, the fraction when multiplied by the new total was a part value. We did an example of that. And a fraction when multiplied by the 360 degree will be the total angle of the pie chart. Okay, that was the next concept there as well. Okay, now we discussed with you the next important formula, and that is initial change and final. Change percentage change upon initial into 100. Then we discussed multiplying factor. Now we'll discuss a very useful formula that are used in the questions of the caselets that comes in the examination of CLAT. Okay, I'll show you also how it comes. But yeah, the first formula or the first logic of English, how to convert English into mathematical form, is what we are going to discuss now. Okay, so please listen to me. The question says, the logic says that after the words like of, after the words like then, after the words like from, by, as, with respect to, related to, after all of these words, whatever noun comes, our job is to talk with respect to that particular noun. What do we say? We talk with respect to that particular noun. ठीक है, in Hindi we say हम उसके respect में बात करते हैं. In the chapter of percentages, we take that particular noun and make it as the denominator of our fraction. Okay, so we'll take that particular noun and we'll make that noun the denominator of our fraction, is what we do here. Okay, so we'll say, give me an example. Yes, we have got an example for you. So if I say that A is 40 and B is 50, so obviously the difference between A and B is how much? 10. So if I ask you, A is what percentage less than B? Okay, so the logic says that after the word then, now then can be less than also, it can be more than also, it can be greater than also, it can be larger than also, or heavier than also, lighter than also, and so on. Okay, but after the word then, the noun that has come is B. So while solving, we'll make, because we already know that a fraction when multiplied by 100 will be called the percentage. Okay, so we'll try to put that to use. Okay guys, so what is that? After the word then, the noun that has come is B, so we'll keep B in the denominator. Because it is asking about the percentage value, so we'll multiply that by 100, because this will be the fractional part. है ना? This will be the fractional part, and the fractional part when multiplied by 100 will become my percentage value. Okay, so B is my total of the fraction. Now it is asking me A is how much less than B. Now less than or more than. If I say that my age is 10 years more than you, then your age is 10 years less than me. So what is 10 years? It is neither your age or my age, it is a difference of our ages, right? So in the numerator, difference will come. So difference upon B into 100 will become my answer. Okay, so what is the difference value guys? It is 10. What is B? It is 50 into 100. So it will become 20%. That will be the first answer for you. Okay, similarly, how to get about the second part? Now one student will say for sure that A is what percentage less than B? 20%. So B will obviously be 20% more than A? No. Okay, that doesn't happen like that. Okay, why so? Let's talk about that also. After the word more than, the noun that has come is A. So we'll keep A in the denominator. Okay, because we are asking about the percentage value, so we'll multiply that by 100. And now what is being A compared to? More than or less than means the difference value. We'll keep the difference in the numerator, that means. So the difference upon A into 100 will become my answer. What is the difference value? It is 10. What is A guys? It is 40. So the answer will not be 20%, it will be 25%. So a major update for you, the students who felt that if A is 20% less than B, then B should be 20% more than A. No. Okay, the answer will be different. In the classes, we discuss in depth about it. Okay, but yes, as of now, it is an important point for you to note. A is what percentage of B? Now again, after the word of, the noun that has come is B. So we'll keep B in the denominator because percentage value is asked, so we'll do into 100. Now what is being B compared to? Directly with A. Okay, so we'll keep A in the numerator. So what will be A now? A is 40 when compared with B, which is 50, into 100. When you will do, you'll get a 80% as your answer. Okay, so 80% becomes your answer. Similarly, after the noun, after the word of, the noun that has come is A now in the last part of it. So we'll keep A in the denominator, and now A is being compared directly with B. So B upon A into 100 will give you your answer of what? B is how much? 50. A is how much? 40 into 100. When you solve it, you'll get 125%. Okay, so these will be the important formulas for you to note by. Okay, now putting to use all the concept that we have discussed till now in an actual question of CLAT 2024. I'll not be discussing the questions with you, but I'll be discussing the approach that you need to follow for to be able to solve this particular kind of a question. Okay, so we discussed with you what? We discussed with you the concept of multiplying factor. We discussed with you the concept of ratios. We discussed with you the concept of fractions and all of these, right? So now let me read the question of actual question caselet of CLAT 2024 for you. Automobiles are the most preferred mode of transport because they allow its all story. So just ignore the story as of now. This part of the question could have been ignored. What do we call it in English? It is called superfluous information. Some information that you could have just eradicated from the by reading from using the skimming or the scanning process is what we call, right? Resultantly, this line we do not need, but yeah, we do know that it is diesel, petrol and electricity are the three modes in which the cars run. Okay, which is what it is, we do not need. What is the survey being talked about? Percentage wise distribution of cars in 4 different states. Okay, so we have 4 different states: state 1, state 2, state 3 and state 4. Okay, so we have the 4 states. Regarding the ratio between the diesel cars, the petrol cars, the electric cars, and on the basis of that we'll be able to get the total also. Okay, so this is how the skeleton of a question looks like. In the end, we will be having a grand total value also. Okay, that will be a summation of all of these values. Okay, guys. Okay. If it is little bit also not clear the text, let me just okay. I guess the text is absolutely clear now. Okay, perfect. So what is being talked about? That these are the 4 states being talked about, and these are diesel cars, petrol cars and electric cars which are running on these. Okay, the total number of cars for which data was collected was 8,000. The grand total is always mentioned here. The grand total is always mentioned here. It is a summation of the total of diesel plus petrol plus electric also 8,000. The total of state 1 plus state 2 plus state 3 plus state 4 also is 8,000. Okay. Now, of these, state 1 had 15% of the total cars. Okay. So first thing is you have to find out the change percentage is given to you. So what is the concept used here? Change percentage is given to you. You have to find out the value in terms of change. Okay. You have to give me the change value. Okay. So what was given to you in this particular question? Change percentage, that is 15 change percentage upon 100 into the initial. Initial is the total in this particular case. So that will be how much? 15 8 is a 120. So 1200 that means. Okay. There are other methods of doing that as well, that if 100% is 8000, then 10% will be 800, then 5% will be the half of 800, that will be 400. So the summation will become 1200. Okay. So this will be 1200. Now this 1200 is divided in what particular ratio? That is also given to you, and the ratio is 3:4:1. Okay. So the ratio is also given to you, that is 3:4:1. And how do we use that particular ratio? 3, 4 and 1. So we say that if the diesel cars are 3, okay, if the diesel cars are 3, the petrol cars are 4 and the electric cars are 1, that means the total cars we are having will be 8. Okay, yes or no guys? Now as per the question, the total cars are not 8, the total cars are 1200. So here we will use the concept of multiplying factor. Now everything will come to light to you. How do we use it? Multiplying factor. This is how you use it. Okay guys? So what should I multiply to 8 to get a 1200? The multiplying factor will be 1200 upon 8. That would be 8 ones are 8, 8 ones are 8, then 40 will be left, so 150. So 150 becomes the multiplying factor. So 150 into 3, 150 into 3 will become 450. 150 into 4 will become 600. 150 into 1 will become 150. So 450 and 150 is 600, 600, 600, 1200. So that is the first part. The same concept you will have to use in all the 4 steps. The same concept has to be used for all the 4 states that are given to you. Okay, let me do it for 1 or 2 more for you. Now state 2 has 20% of the total cars. Okay, 20% of 8000. Okay, so what will be 20% of that? 20% is nothing but 20 upon 100, that is 1 upon 5. 1 upon 5 into 8000 when you will do, you will get 1600. Okay, or you can say that if 100% is 8000, then 10% will be 1/10 of 8000, that is 800. And what is 20%? The double of 800, that will be 1600. So data given here is 1600, that means. Okay, now what is the multiplying factor logic? Let me do it here only. So what is the ratio being used here is state 2, the ratio is 5, 3, 2. The ratio was 5, 3 and 2. So if it was 5, it was 3, it was 2. So what is the total? 5 plus 3 plus 2, 10. But as per the question, it is not 10, it is 1600. So what is the multiplying factor? What should I multiply to 10 to make 1600? It will be 1600 upon 10, that is 160. So 160 into 2, 320. 160 into 3, 480. 160 into 5, 800. And check it out, you'll get the same answer. The summation of all 3 of them will be 1600. Yes, it will be. Okay, using in the third statement now. Okay, yeah, we are back. So state 3 has 30% of the total cars. If 10% is, now it is known it is 800, so 30% will be 3 times of 10%. So it will be 800 into 3, 2400. So the total here will become 2400, my friends. Right? So if the total is 2400, how much is going to be state 3? The state 3 ratio is 453, 4, 5 and 3. So 5 plus 3 is 8, 8 plus 4 is 12. So our total is 12. But as per the question, is the total 12? No, it is 2400. So the multiplying factor will be 2400 upon 12, that will be 200. So 200 into 3, 600, 200 into 5, 1000, 200 into 4, 800. So the total will become 2400, you can check it out. Okay. Similarly, if the last portion, if you even do not know, you know the total will be this plus this plus this, and 8,000 minus the summation of all three of them, and then the ratio would be given to you and you solve it, or you just see the statement. State 4 has 35% of the total cars. So 30% value was 2400. 10% of the value was 800. So 5% will be the half of 10%, the half of 800 will be 400. 30% was 2400, and add 400 to that, it will become 2800, guys. Okay. And what is the ratio now? 7, 5 and 2. So this is 7, this is 5 and this is 2. So 7 plus 7 will become 14. So that if the total is 14, then these were the values 7, 5 and 2, but the total is not 14, it is 2800, and that multiplying factor will be 200. So 200 into 2, 400. 200 into 5, again 1000. 200 into 7 will be 1400. Okay. Now the summation of this will be 2800. Yes, when you do the summation of all four of them, you'll get a summation of the total diesel cars. The summation of all four of these will be the total petrol cars. The summation of all four of these will be the total electric cars. Okay. So that will be the solution of the whole caselet. Now, when you see the questions, then you'll get to know more about it, that what were you supposed to do. But if you will actually understand that what I just discussed with you, I discussed with you the major 10 formulas that are asked from you, or that are expected from you to know before you even start, solving the first mock. Okay. And that is what we have just given you the data about, that what all things you should know. You should know what is a ratio. You should know what is a fraction. You should know what is a percentage. How can we convert a ratio into a fraction into a percentage? What is change? What is change percentage? What is multiplying factor? What is the concept of ratio, and what is multiplying factor in ratios is we discuss with you one by one by one. So I guess we were able to discuss with you every part of it in a very systematic manner with the help of these 10 formulas that we had in store for you in this particular session. In the next session, we will be discussing with you even little higher concepts wherein we will use the concept of successive percentage and all of those. But yes, just show us some love. Share with all your fellow aspirants who want to actually get a hold of the fundamentals before they start, and if they are having a phobia about how they will be able to crack CLAT because quant is a part of it, then just ask them to watch this particular video with their own speed. And this is not a video to be watched just like a video of any particular movie or TV series or that you are watching, or TV series you are watching. This is supposed to be done with a pen and paper in your hand. When you are watching this particular video, please watch it for the full length of it. Have a pen and paper with in your hand. Pause the video when you want to. Make the notes very properly and ask in the chat box with us whatever doubts you are having. Okay, we'll be more than happy to help you out with whatever doubts you are having. And obviously, we are having our batches in the online format, also in the offline centers of ours as well, be it not just limited to Lucknow, Kanpur, Delhi, Chandigarh, Bombay. We have a lot of centers, so you can always write to us if you are from which particular city and whatever queries you have for our team. So best of luck, guys. I'm sure you'll be able to do great work. Exactly 6 months are left from now, so please make sure that you give all that you have. Thank you.